Hi, welcome to Los Angeles Valley College. This is the first semester student educational planning session brought to you by the Counseling Department at LAVC. Whether you're a brand new college student or returning after a break, you've come here today because you need to satisfy the counseling requirement as part of the matriculation process. The main objective of this presentation today is to provide you with enough information and resources to select the courses you should take in your first 1 or 2 semesters here at Valley College. Beyond that, students should make an appointment with a counselor within their first year to receive a comprehensive student educational plan, or what is commonly referred to as a CSEP. The CSEP covers all the classes students need to successfully complete in order to meet their educational goal, and will be provided in an individual appointment that you make with a counselor. Your goal might be to earn a certificate of achievement, or earn an associate degree to pursue a particular occupation, or transfer to a 4-year university to earn a bachelor's degree either with or without an associate degree first. We will also review how to access your student portal for the first time and provide a brief introduction to the dashboard of your student homepage. Today's presentation will also provide you with instructions on how to view your English and math placement, and then provide general guidance on which English and math classes to take in your initial semesters based on your major. If your English and/or math placement is not showing, or shows you must first complete a foundational class in either subject, this presentation will include instructions on completing a form in order to provide you with an updated and accurate placement. Finally, if after viewing this presentation you feel confident that you have selected the correct classes for your first 1 or 2 semesters, you will have the opportunity to submit your abbreviated student educational plan to a counselor for approval in order to satisfy the counseling requirement. In this way, you'll be able to enroll in those classes with confidence. However, if after this presentation you decide you would still like to attend a first semester planning session with a counselor because you are either unclear or unsure of which classes to enroll in, you have the option to do that as well. Again, welcome to Valley College's first semester educational planning session. Let's get started. By now, most of you have already created your login to access your student portal. For those who have not, please visit the website you see at the top, mycollege.laccd.edu. If this is your first time visiting this website, it will take you to this common landing page for all 9 of the campuses within the Los Angeles Community College District, or LACCD. If you are not aware, Valley College is one of 9 campuses within the district, and you are able to take classes at any of our campuses using your unique student ID. You do not need to apply to each campus separately. Please follow these directions only if this is your first time logging into this site. At the top box, enter your 9-digit student ID number for your username. If you are accessing this page for the first time, you'll need to enter your default password in the bottom box. Let's take a look at how to create that. Your student default password has the formula 88 at, followed by the first letter of your last name capitalized, followed by the 4-digit month and day of your birth date in the month, date format. For example, the password for Jane Doe, born on the 4th of July, would be 88 at D0704. That's 88 at capital D for Doe, 07 for July, 04 for the 4th of July. Once you have successfully logged in, you will be required to update your password. Let's see how to do that. How to update your password. Enter your old or default password, the one we've just created, 88 at D0704, and now create a new password. The new password must contain at least 7 alphanumeric characters, which includes 1 uppercase letter and 1 lowercase letter, a number or numbers, and at least 1 special character from the list you see here. Please note, you may not use your prior 3 passwords as your new password. After you've created your updated password, please follow the prompts to complete the process. Once you have updated your password successfully, You can now go back to the mycollege.laccd.edu sign-on page and log in using your new password. So from here, your student ID number at the top, and now your new password that you've just created at the bottom will allow you to log in successfully to your student homepage. After you've successfully created your student portal login, you'll have access to your student homepage shown here. Some of the contents and information contained behind certain tiles on this homepage might seem obvious based on their title, like the financial aid and scholarship tile. But others are not, so we will highlight a few now. If you have a preferred name that is different from your legal name and you would prefer the college use this name on a class roster that is provided to your instructor, for example, you can update your preferred name under the profile tile. Changing your legal name, however, because your marital status and thus your last name has changed, would require legal documentation presented to the Admissions and Records Office. Unfortunately, that is something you would not be able to do on your own through this student homepage. But once you are ready to enroll into classes, the Manage Classes tile allows students to add classes using a subject and course number combination like Statistics 101 or Biology 3. You can also find a particular section of a course using a unique 5-digit class number assigned to every class, especially if there's a specific instructor's class you'd want to take. A short video on how to search for classes and enroll can be found on the same page where you have accessed this video. The Canvas tile is how students gain access to their courses, especially if it is an online class. However, some instructors whose class meets face-to-face use Canvas as it is a common course management system used district-wide. It is often where students make initial contact with their instructor, view the course syllabus, turn in assignments, and see their current grade. There are Canvas trainings on our Virtual Valley resource page, which students can review prior to the semester or during in order to become more proficient with this application. Students can access their student email using the Outlook tile and can virtually access a counselor through the Online Counseling and Live Chat tile. But right now, we're going to engage directly with the Student Status tile, so please access that now. For brand new students and for some returning students, your to-do list might have the tasks, assessment, counseling, and orientation listed. Please know that although it is listed as assessment, there are no entry tests to take, and we will refer to it instead as placement throughout today's presentation. These are considered the 3 core student success requirements that all students must satisfy in order to be considered fully matriculated. This means you will earn priority registration, you will be more informed of the college processes and resources available, and you will reach your goal without wasting time. So from your student homepage, click on the Student Status tile, which has an image of a person in front of a clipboard with a checklist. This will bring up the Academic Standing menu as seen here. Now, click the bottom tab labeled Matriculation Status. The Matriculation Status page lets students know which of the 3 core services are either satisfied or not satisfied. Although the menu uses the term assessment or assessment result, there is no longer an English or math assessment that students must take, nor are there results that need to be obtained prior to registration. Instead, we use the term placement since students are able to place themselves into the English and math course that aligns with their major and comfort level. Let's look at your current placement as it is recorded with the district. Above the matriculation status is the Assessment Result tab. Clicking this will lead to the Assessment Placements Information page, which will list your English and math placements. Click that now. What comes up is this example placement results page. For most students, a placement has been automatically recorded on this page based on your responses from questions within your initial application regarding English and math coursework completed in high school, including your GPA. This example shows a student has placed into English 101, which is a course that meets graduation and transfer requirements. The math placement has more placement options, as is seen in the example. Even though a student is able to enroll into any of the transfer level math courses listed in the red box, the appropriate math course depends on one's major and educational goal. If a student is not sure about either, it is recommended they speak with a counselor to avoid enrolling in the wrong class. Finally, beneath math is a reading placement that will say not assessed. Please disregard this item as there is no longer a reading assignment given to the students. Before moving ahead, we want to provide you with two resources we will be referring to throughout the remainder of this presentation, which you can use as a reference to assist in understanding the material being presented. The first is called the New Student Handbook, as seen in this tile. It can be accessed from our counseling homepage under the Orientation and First Semester Planning tab. Let's see. So, from our homepage of lavc.edu, we can access Student Services and then Counseling. From the Counseling tab, Orientation and First Semester Planning, where you found this video. Forms you need to complete your first semester student educational plan, the New Student Handbook. Feel free to download the New Student Handbook to follow along throughout the presentation, or you may review the information on your own once the presentation is over to reinforce what you have learned today. The second resource we will be referring to not only today, but throughout your time at LA Valley College or any college is the catalog. The catalog can also be found on our website, lavc.edu, from the button, Schedule Catalog. If you scroll past the schedule, you will see two links for the catalog. The first is the Spring Addendum, which is the most current and updated catalog, which we're going to look at right now. The catalog is a public document available to students, staff, and faculty that governs our procedures, states our policies, provides students their rights and responsibilities, and explains nearly everything you would encounter on our campus. It is an invaluable resource that we will explore a little bit now and then refer to throughout the remainder of today's presentation. So, you can use a bookmark feature in your reader. For example, here's the President's message from Dr. Barry Gribbins, our college president. You can see all of the educational programs we offer at Valley College in alphabetical order. We'll be reviewing these throughout today's presentation. You can then see the requirements for these degrees and certificates based on the classes required. For this degree, Art Graphic Design AA, it shows you all the classes that are needed, the total required, the titles of each class, the unit count for each class. We'll also be looking at course subject abbreviations. This is a very useful resource when students receive a student educational plan from their counselor. It will have the abbreviation on the courses, or we might even speak in the course abbreviations. So this is part of the college knowledge that students should have at their disposal. You can read about our associate degrees for transfer, which we will be reviewing, and then course descriptions. What you'll notice on the course descriptions is that it will have a UC or a CSU, which means that the course is accepted at either the University of California system or the California State University system, both of our public four-year college systems within the state of California. A course might have the letters NDA, which means non-degree applicable. If it has RPT, this also indicates how many times a course can be repeated. The catalog also has our academic policies, shows all of our academic and student support, has all of our special programs like CalWorks, our Puente program, TRIO, Veteran Services, our Mosaic Center, which has our Dream Resource Center, veterans, and part of our Umoja program. If we click on Campus Services, you will see all of the services, such as EOPS, our CARE program, Guardian Scholars Next Up program, financial aid. You can also access our district and college policies, and all of the student activities we have, such as our ASU, Associated Student Union, the Executive Council, if you want to be part of student government leadership, and our campus clubs or inter-club council. You can also access a list of our faculty and administrators. Finally, a glossary of terms, also known as college knowledge, you should be aware of. So we will be referring back to the catalog often throughout the presentation, so please have that handy as well. This page is taken right from our new student handbook if you'd like to refer to that. In order to receive an associate degree at LAVC and or to transfer to a university to obtain a bachelor's degree, you are required to complete the English competency requirement, English 101, called College Reading and Composition 1. Based on multiple measures and questions, self-placement, students are able to enroll into English 101 in their first semester, either with or without English 72, called English Bridge. Our English Bridge class offers directed practice taught by an English instructor to students of varying skill levels in order to support students who desire additional academic support in reading, writing, and critical thinking. It is offered as a pass, no pass basis only and can help students who are looking for additional support in their college level English course. The goal is for you to complete English 101 within your first year of college. Finally, some students take DevCom 35 or 36A or B before, at the same time as, or after they've completed English 101 since there are no prerequisites. They use these classes to become stronger readers by increasing fluency, their reading comprehension, or the speed with which they read. Here's the entry for English 101 as taken right from our college catalog. So from my course descriptions tab, courses are listed alphabetically. So I'm in the English section. And we just heard about English 72, English Bridge. It's a 1-unit class, as we see there by the 1. And now we're going to take a look more specifically at English 101, College Reading and Composition 1. So you can see that the subject is English. Beneath that is the number 101. That's the course number. So English 101 with the title, College Reading and Composition 1. The 3 in parentheses refers to the number of units the course is. We'll discuss what a unit is later on. Then we see the same symbols, UC, CSU, to tell us that the course is University of California transferable or transferable to the California State University system. We can see the lengthy prerequisite language on the English 101 class. Some classes will have no prerequisite and will simply say none. Others will say prerequisite, English 101 with a grade of C or better. When you see a prerequisite, that means that you must complete that course prior to enrolling in a sequential course. So for example, if I wanted to take English 124, Short Story Writing Part 1, again, we see it's 3 units. It's transferable to the UC and CSU. I see that it has a prerequisite of English 101 with a grade of C or better. Again, if I wanted to take English 124, I would have to have finished English 101 in the prior semester or term before it would allow me to enroll in English 124. This is to ensure that students are prepared for the next class. So somebody in English 124 would need to have the writing skills learned in English 101. That is how the prerequisite system works in college. Underneath the prerequisite is the course description. And underneath the course description, you'll see with English 101, not in every class, but with English 101, there is something that says CID ENGL 100. The CID code at the bottom refers to the course identification numbering system and is part of a common course numbering system that can easily identify comparable courses between the California community colleges and universities, including the UC and CSU systems. For a full list, we'll see one at the bottom of our ADT list later. You don't really need to be too concerned about that, but we wanted to make sure that you knew what it meant. Now we're going to look at our math choices. On the Assessment Placements Information page in the Math Placement section, it advises that a student may enroll into any of the college-level math courses. Here, the ones seen in green. And that any of them may be used to satisfy degree and/or transfer requirements. In fact, all of the classes in green and blue are UC and CSU transferable, which means that the course will be accepted at all University of California and California State University campuses. Math 240, trigonometry, is the only exception to that, and it is CSU transferable only. But most importantly, the placement page states, please see a counselor and the college catalog to determine which course best meets your major and transfer goals. This is because choosing which math class a student takes is determined by the major they are pursuing and the university where they plan to transfer. While all of the math classes shown here in the green boxes are transfer level and would meet the minimum requirements to transfer by completing a mathematics or quantitative reasoning class, specific math classes are required for certain majors. If you are unsure of your academic or career direction, speaking with a counselor to assist you in choosing the right math class could prevent you from having to take an additional math class if you took the wrong one initially. So, in looking at this slide, the left slide is a list of our non-STEM math classes. This includes business majors or social and behavioral science majors like psychology, history, or child development, but also serves other majors such as administration of justice, English, communication studies, or any arts, music, or humanities majors. So basically, if your major does not require calculus as a part of your preparation, you would look for an appropriate class on the left side of this chart. Let's look at these classes a bit more closely. Math 215 is a 3-unit math course primarily required for students wishing to teach in a K-8 setting, as it is a teacher prep course that explains how to teach math to students. It is a requirement for the AAT in elementary teacher education or for the AA in liberal studies. As a side note, if you are wanting to teach math in high school or college, you would need to go through the STEM pathway as a math major. So if you already know that you are not going into teaching, it would be safe to cross Math 215 as a choice off your list. Next set, Math 227 is a 4-unit statistics course taught by the math department and is a requirement for business majors wishing to earn their AST in business administration. So if you're a business major, even if you aren't sure if you are leaning towards accounting, finance, marketing, or management, this is the appropriate math class for you if you're going to transfer. However, Math 227 is also required for a Bachelor of Science in Public Health at CSUN, or as an alternative to a second semester of calculus in CSUN's Bachelor of Science in Construction Management. So Math 227 is not only for business majors. In fact, any major looking to fulfill an introductory statistics course requirement could take this class. Next to Math 227 is Stat 101, or Statistics 101, Statistics for the Social Sciences. These two classes often do get confused since they both have statistics in their title. But in contrast to Math 227, Stat 101 is taught by the psychology department and can be used to satisfy ADT degree and transfer requirements for psychology, sociology, history, political science, child development, administration of justice, or communication studies majors, for example. It is also a 4-unit course. Either statistics course would be appropriate for nursing students wishing to transfer to earn their BSN or Bachelor of Science of Nursing at a university, for example. Beneath that is Math 238, a 5-unit course referred to as business calculus, and is often required for business majors as it is applying the techniques of calculus to business-related problems. However, it should not be used in place of Calculus 1, Math 261, for STEM majors, unless it specifically says Math 238 is an acceptable substitute on assist.org or your transfer university's website on articulation agreements. Furthermore, Math 238 will not meet the requirement for any physics classes, so please see a counselor for clarification if you need it. Beneath that is Math 245, College Algebra. It's a 3-unit class required in some specific majors by itself, or sometimes in combination with Math 240, like for a BA in biology at CSUN, for example. However, some students simply prefer algebra to statistics, and if their major does not require a specific math course, they are welcome to take this 3-unit course to satisfy their math requirement. Now, if your major is leading you into any branch of engineering or computer science, biology, chemistry, physics, or math, you are a STEM student, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. Looking at the STEM side of the chart, there are 2 pathways to get into Math 261 or Calculus 1. A student could take Math 240 or trigonometry their first term or semester, then Math 260 pre-calculus the next term or semester. This would prepare the student to enter Math 261 while meeting the prerequisites. The other option available to all students would be to take Math 259, which is pre-calculus with trigonometry. This is a 6-unit class that will prepare students to enter Math 261 after just 1 term or semester. Most STEM majors will need to take every class in blue, but that will be addressed when you meet with a counselor for your CSEP. Finally, if you would like to refresh your math skills prior to enrolling into any of the transfer level math classes in green, You could enroll into any of our foundational skills math classes at the bottom of the slide in the tan-colored box. Many college students feel that they don't have a strong enough foundation in math and want to be more successful in those classes than they were in previous attempts or even when they were in high school. These classes are not transfer level math courses, which means that they will not be enough to transfer to earn your bachelor's degree. They could be enough to earn your associate degree, however. In addition, they will help you be more successful and could improve your grades in these transfer level courses and hence your chances for getting into the university or program of your choice. For example, if you would like to have a stronger foundation in geometry before taking Math 240, trigonometry, you could take Math 120, a 5-unit class on plane geometry. Or if you want to review intermediate algebra before enrolling into statistics or college algebra, you could take Math 122 or 125, intermediate algebra, both of which are 5 units. Math 134 is a 6-unit class that covers both elementary and intermediate algebra in the same class and can be used as a booster ahead of any transfer level math class should you want that. Finally, if you have determined that Stat 101, again, Statistics for the Social Sciences, is the appropriate math class for your major, we offer Stat 100, Foundations of Statistical Reasoning, a 4-unit class that will introduce students to basic concepts as they relate to statistics if you would like a math refresher course prior to enrolling in Stat 101. And last, Math 100. You'll see it in the middle of the screen at the bottom, kind of hidden. Math 100 is 1 unit, and NDA, meaning it's non-degree applicable, called Mathematics Workshop. Much like our English 72 class, our English Bridge, Math 100 is a supplemental math class that has directed practice that can be taken with any college level math course above, also taught by our math faculty. So if you are feeling like you'd like some more support before headed into a transfer level math class, there are plenty of choices for you. Now, if you went to your assessment results page and it looks like this, meaning there was no English 101 or transfer level math class listed for you, this means you are missing your English or math placement. Students missing English or math placement will be unable to enroll into English 101 or the math course they have determined is best for them. Instead, a red X would appear with the message, "Unable to add this class, requisites have not been met." This can happen for brand new students as well as students whom are returning after a significant break in enrollment, or for those who took an assessment in the past and whose placement is locked below transfer level courses, like Math 115 or English 21, for example. You would also experience this error message. Thus, it is very important for you to access the student status tile and click on the assessment result. Student status, assessment result, to see if you have this page, or if this page comes up. And if you are missing a placement, you must complete the AB 705 form. This AB 705 form, also known as the Math and English Guided Self-Placement Form, has replaced the traditional English and math assessments students used to take before enrolling into college. This form can be found on the same page you found this video under the Forms You Need to Complete section of the first semester student educational plan. We'll explain how to complete this form and submit it later on in this presentation, so that way you have access to your English 101 and math classes. If you haven't already, complete the online orientation for new students. It contains a short videos and checks on learning embedded in each segment throughout the modules. It should take you about an hour to complete, but if you do not finish it in one sitting, your progress will be saved and you can return to it at your next opportunity. Once completed, you will have satisfied the orientation requirement on your to-do list, or the O of the POC requirements. As outlined in the opening slide, the primary objective of today's presentation is to provide you with enough information and resources to select the appropriate courses you should take in your first and second semesters here at Valley College. Beyond that, students should make an appointment with a counselor no later than their second semester to receive a comprehensive student educational plan. Again, if after viewing this presentation, you feel confident that you've selected the correct classes for your first 2 semesters, you'll have the opportunity to submit your abbreviated student ed plan to a counselor for approval in order to satisfy the counseling requirement on your to-do list. For a full menu of all counseling services offered at LA Valley College, please visit the counseling department's website at lavc.edu/counseling. Let's take a look at it together. So again, from our homepage, lavc.edu, I can access it through Student Services and Counseling. From this main page, students can make a counseling appointment through our counseling reception, get answers from counselors to brief general questions via live chat or email through online help desks, or contact a specific counselor directly by searching on the counselor contact information page. For assistance with career planning or transferring to a public or private university to earn your bachelor's degree, please visit the Career Transfer Center located inside the counseling department or online at lavc.edu/transfer. You can also access it on this tab, Career Transfer Center. From major exploration to self-exploration in order to get career direction, and from timelines to transfer tips to apply to your first choice university, the Career Transfer Center has the most current information and resources to guide you. You can access workshops on how to transfer or career or major exploration. As this can be a stressful process for students while they're deciding, students can also schedule an appointment with a career counselor for a more in-depth search to support or confirm your decisions. Now we're going to return back to our educational program list. So from my catalog, I can just click the bookmark educational programs, and it brings me to this list of all of the degrees or certificates that we offer. Collectively, we call them educational programs or instructional programs, I've seen at the top. So for example, accounting, we have as an AA degree. We have as a CA, which stands for Certificate of Achievement. We know it's under the business department, and in the catalog, if we wanted more information, we can look at pages 57 and 60. Underneath is a key or a legend to all of the abbreviations, which we'll be going through now. While there is no right or wrong way to approach your education, there are some general guidelines you should consider. Many community college students are not sure if they have the time, money, interest, or need to transfer to a four-year university at the beginning of their educational journey. While a BA or BS, Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science, is typically the minimal educational experience required for most professional entry-level jobs, it does require careful planning, sacrifices, and support from your family or community in order to achieve it. And yes, financial aid in the form of grants, work study, loans, and scholarships are available at most universities, which will cut down on some or most of that cost. However, if you aren't ready for that level of commitment at this time, you could look into a certificate of achievement in an area that you believe you have interest. This would do a couple of things. First, it would allow you to see if your level of interest for this field is as strong as you thought. If not, it's better to realize that now so you have plenty of time to further assess your interests and skills to find a subject area with which you do connect. But if you find you are enjoying the courses you are taking as a part of your certificate program, this is a pretty strong indicator that this is an area you might consider earning an associate degree in, because those same courses required for the certificate of achievement often make up a portion, if not all, of the required units in the major with the same name. Thus, a student could earn their certificate of achievement first, and then add whatever units in the major are still required, plus any general education not already taken, to earn their associate degree. Let's take a look at some certificates of achievement examples. The first one is a certificate of achievement in child development or associate teacher preschool, letter A. You can see that there are 3 required courses: Child Development 1, Child Growth and Development; Child Development 3, Creative Experiences for Children; and Child Development 11, Child, Family, and Community. These are the 3 required courses. Beneath that, students have to take 1 course from the following. So there's a list of 6 courses that a student could take to accomplish the 1 class remaining in order to get to a total of 12 units. Now, this certificate of achievement is probably the most common for our child development majors because it allows them to work in a preschool, this 12-unit requirement. And you can see within the description of the certificate, completion of 12 units meets the minimum education requirements for associate teacher position in private early childhood education programs. Another area of certificates is within our media arts department. So we have a certificate of achievement in media arts directing, post-production, producing, screenwriting, or visual effects. You'll notice that all of these certificates have 21 units. You'll also notice that all of them start with the same 4 classes: Cinema 105, Cinema 107, Media Arts 100, Media Arts 116, Intro to Screenwriting. And then from there, it gets into the more specific classes. So for example, the directing certificate wants a student to take Media Arts 118, Directing. These certificates are the same courses that are required for the associate degrees. So, for example, here's a certificate of achievement in real estate. It says complete the following 5 required courses: Real Estate 1, Real Estate 3, 5, 7, 9, and then 1 course from the following between Real Estate 14 and 21, for a total of 18 units. Now, I highlighted this portion of the certificate so that way a student could understand that students taking Real Estate 1, 3, and a Real Estate elective, that means any other class, qualify to seek a California real estate salesperson's license. It continues. Most of the other real estate courses that are needed for the real estate certificate will be helpful to those students seeking a California real estate broker's license. This is an added bonus to this certificate. But what we also want to explain is that those same classes from the certificate of real estate, a student could start off earning the certificate and then decide that they like the material so much, or they see that there's a need for them to have the associate degree posted to their transcript. So now we take those same classes that are highlighted, and now we start adding the additional courses required for the AA, or Associate of Arts. This is what we call stackable. So we've stacked the degree on top of the certificate. One more example of certificates that we offer. This is in our CAOT, Computer Applications and Office Technologies. We have Administrative Assistant, we have Computer Application Specialist, General Office Assistant, and the newest one, which is why it's in pink, because it was just added, called Computerized Bookkeeping. What you'll see about all of these certificates is that they all vary in length, from 18 units all the way up to 34 units. So it does depend on how much time you have or the title of the certificate that you think would help you get the job that you're looking for. I've also highlighted here the one common class for all 4 of these certificates, CAOT 2. So if a student is not sure exactly which certificate path they want to choose, they could start with CAOT 2 and still be eligible for all of them at the same time. We often have students earning 2 or multiple certificates. As you are exploring early on in perhaps which pathway or degree or certificate to choose, an additional resource to help you is Salary Surfer. This is a great place to explore different degrees and certificates offered throughout all of the California community colleges. The information is organized into 24 different programs of study and provides median annual salary information for students who earn a certificate or degree. While no singular community college can offer every program, you could look up a degree or certificate LAVC offers to see that data. Let's take a look. So from the health programs, you could watch a video. And in fact, the one that we're going to look at, respiratory care, because at LA Valley College, we have a respiratory therapy program. So I click the respiratory care therapy. I'm looking at the degrees, go to page 2, and I see Los Angeles Valley College respiratory therapy program. What you'll notice about this are these 3 columns. The first column is 2 years before students earned their degree in respiratory therapy, they were making on average $18,000. However, 2 years after earning their degree, they were earning $63,000, and 5 years after, they were earning almost $70,000. This is without a bachelor's degree. So if you were interested in health sciences and you were looking at the different programs, Valley College does have a nursing program, but in addition, we have a respiratory therapy program that you could start looking into if this is something of interest. So, to review, a skills certificate is 9 to 15 units. We have several offered in child development, CAOT, computer science, Spanish and theater arts. But what you need to know is that a skills certificate, or on the educational program list, if it says SC next to it, it will not appear on your student transcript. So a skills certificate will not appear on the transcript. However, certificates of achievement, which were anywhere from 12 to 36 units, that's for students who are looking for instruction with a high degree of specialization that can lead to employment or job advancement, but who have a limited time to pursue their formal education. And those will appear on your transcript, which you could then put on a resume. You could actually put either on a resume, but again, the certificate of achievement will appear on the transcript should you need that verification. We're now going to look at some associate arts and science programs that we offer. An associate degree, either AA or AS, provides students with basic academic and technical knowledge in a particular subject of study. It may be earned in conjunction with preparing to transfer or as an occupational program by itself. Many, but not all of the courses listed in these programs carry transfer credit to four-year colleges, so the student who decides at a later date to pursue a bachelor's degree may do so without a great loss of time. However, those students who are considering transferring to a four-year college should see a counselor because a student's overall goals will determine which general education pattern he or she should follow. While the LACCD general education pattern might be appropriate for some associate degrees, it is best to meet with a counselor to determine if using the CSU-GE or the IGETC general education patterns might serve you better based on your long-term goals. Looking at the slide, students desiring either undergraduate academic degree, an AA or an AS, must complete 60 degree applicable units in a major and the appropriate general education requirements to graduate. Let's look at an example. Going back to our AA of real estate, again, that's an Associate of Arts in real estate. We saw that there were 9 required courses listed here. Then 1 course from the following listed here. Then 2 courses from the following listed here. For a total of 38 units. So we would say that this major, the AA of real estate, the major requires 38 units. However, that is not enough to earn the associate degree. So in addition to these 38 units of the major, students must also complete general education. That's the same for any degree. Whether you're transferring or not, students must complete something called general education. Sometimes you'll hear people refer to it as Gen Ed, general education, or GE, or GEs, general education requirements. So if I'm a student who only wants to earn my real estate degree, and I know for sure I am not transferring to a university to get a bachelor's degree, or I just want to get my associate degree first, work in the field for 3-5 years, and then come back and get my bachelor's degree, but really I just want my associate degree posted to my transcript and then to my resume so I can work. The fastest way would be to follow the LACCD GE plan. As you can see, the general education requirements are only 21 units. We're going to look at some of these areas now. So, area A is called Natural Sciences, and I just need 1 course, 3 semester units minimum. I don't need a lab, but I need at least 1 lecture course to cover a natural science. Area B, Social and Behavioral Sciences, I need 6 semester units total. I need 3 units in B1, American Institutions, and I need 3 units in B2, Social and Behavioral Sciences. In the humanities section, letter C, I just need 1 course or 3 semester units. Some of our foreign language courses like Spanish 1, Italian 1 are 5 units, but I only need 3 semester units minimum to cover area C, humanities. Area D, language and rationality, D1, English composition, I need 6 semester units. Area D1, there's only 1 class that will satisfy this area, and that's English 101, which we've discussed before. Area D2, communication and analytical thinking. This could be covered with a speech class or an English class or any math class that we see on this list. Depending on what your overall plans are, you may need to take a math class in order to transfer. You could also achieve mathematical competency if you have transfer level math placement. Please see a counselor for more information regarding the math class required for your associate degree. Area E, Health and Physical Education. We need one course for Area E1, Health Education, so Health 11, for example. And every student getting an associate degree using the LACCD GE plan, if they know they're not going to transfer, every student needs at least 1 unit of physical education activity, or PE. Often called, the KIN stands for kinesiology, could be in table tennis or basketball, archery, ultimate frisbee, rock climbing, yoga, stretching. So a number of different courses that a student could take in order to satisfy the 1 unit of physical education. So again, if I'm a student who wants to earn my real estate AA, Associate of Arts degree, I need to complete all of these units, the 38 under real estate, plus the 21 units, which brings me to 59 units. So we would need 1 more unit to get to the 60 units required to earn my degree. Sometimes students ask if they should do the degrees in their major first and then their general ed. Some students want to do all of their general education first and then their major prep. We recommend doing a combination of both, especially if you're full-time. If you do, in this example, 1 real estate class or 2 real estate classes, and then a couple of general education classes, so maybe a social and behavioral science class or a humanities class, plus a real estate class to get you to 12 units to be full-time. That's a much better strategy to have some variance in your schedule. Now we're going to look at ADTs, or the Associate Degrees for Transfer. Unlike the regular AA or AS degrees we just looked at, the Associate Degrees for Transfer, or ADT, come with certain guarantees and are designed especially for transfer to the California State University, or CSU system. While earning one of 26 possible ADTs at LA Valley College does not mean a student must attend a CSU campus, the benefits mentioned are primarily for those transferring to a CSU. Let's watch a short video from the Chancellor's Office regarding the ADT program in general. Then we will review the ADTs we offer here at Valley College.
The Associate Degree for Transfer gives community college students a streamlined path to transfer to a 4-year university. And now there are more choices than ever throughout the Golden State. The Associate Degree for Transfer is a program created specifically for California community college students, because applying directly to a 4-year college or university when you're a high school senior isn't the only way to earn your bachelor's degree. In fact, for Californians of all ages, attending a community college first can be a smart way to go. With the Associate Degree for Transfer, your opportunities are endless when you take advantage of the guidance and resources available at community colleges. The big plus about the Associate Degree for Transfer is that it sets a clear pathway for California community college students to transfer to a safe spot at a college or university. That's right, your safe spot is now waiting at even more schools. Take the classes required for transfer, fulfill requirements, and you're off to one of the many partnering colleges or universities. Requirements vary depending on where you would like to attend, so talk to your community college counselor to create the best education plan for you. And with more transfer options available, you'll find your perfect fit. California State Universities, University of California, participating California private nonprofit four-year universities, historically Black colleges and universities, and Western Governors University, a fully online college. With many financial aid options at community colleges to pay for tuition, books, and sometimes even help with rent, your wallet will thank you. The associate degree for transfer steps are simple. Enroll in a community college. You can apply online at cccapply.org. Start at a California community college. Complete the transfer requirements. Transfer to your saved spot at a four-year university. Continue on the streamlined path of courses to graduate with your bachelor's degree, and dream future, here you come. If you're already enrolled or thinking of enrolling at a community college, history shows that transfer students do just as well, and sometimes even better than those who go straight to a four-year university out of high school. Plus, everyone who applies is accepted into a California community college, so if you want to attend, you're in. Speak to a community college counselor today about the associate degree for transfer and get more information on which pathway best fits you. And don't forget to ask about all the financial aid options that are available to you year-round. The associate degree for transfer was created with you in mind. It's the most efficient and affordable way to earn your bachelor's degree without all the stress. Visit our website at adegreewithaguarantee.com.
So now we'll look at the ADTs, or associate degrees for transfer, that LA Valley College offers. Again, just like our Associate of Arts degree seen before, all ADTs require 60 CSU transferable semester units in order to earn the associate degree. Also, as a side note, earlier we had looked at the approved CID descriptors. We saw English 100, English 101, and so this is where this list lives. AST in Administration of Justice is for students looking to get into law enforcement. Art history we have, anthropology. AST in biology is for students who want to pursue a biology degree, a bachelor's degree. Business administration is for folks who want to earn a business degree, either in accounting or finance, marketing management, or business administration. The AAT in communication studies is perfect for students wanting to get into maybe public relations or become a social media manager, write speeches, be a spokesperson. The AST in early childhood education is for those students wanting to work in a preschool, get a bachelor's degree. AAT in economics. The AAT in elementary teacher education, if I expand this down, it's the largest degree we have in that it's 52 units. You can see here, 52 total units for the major. But what is nice is that the student who follows this degree virtually does all of their general education required by following the degree. So if you're a student who wants to maybe teach in the K through 12 system or the K through 8 system, then pursuing your AAT in elementary teacher education would be the best route for you, as it will also cover the lower division major prep coursework in order to get a liberal studies degree at a university. We also have an AAT in English. We have the AST in film, television, and electronic media for those wanting to go into media studies. AAT in geography. AST in geology. There is a difference. Geography, geology. You can read about it here. The AAT in history and journalism. The AAT in kinesiology, again, that's for folks who maybe want to be a PE teacher, or they want to get into exercise science, or they want to get a foundation maybe to be a physical therapist or occupational therapist. Pursuing an AAT in kinesiology would be a good start. We talked earlier about AST in math. That's for maybe folks who want to pursue a teaching career in math. AAT in philosophy, music, physics, The AAT in psychology, again, we saw earlier that either math class will satisfy Math 227 or Stat 101, Statistics for the Social Sciences. Most students would probably go for Statistics for the Social Sciences, especially since Stat 101 is taught by the psychology department, so it makes sense. The AAT in political science, the AAT in sociology, transfer degree in Spanish, studio arts. This is for students maybe who want to get into illustration or other art forms. Studio arts is the degree we most recommend. And then finally, the AAT in theater arts. So the student chooses the area that they're interested in. That's called their major. And then we match that up with the CSU GE page. The CSU GE stands for California State University General Education. We're going to go through this page now. You can see that area A1 is called oral communication, and that there are 3 classes that will satisfy this area. That's what we say. Satisfying area A1 is the course COM 101, Communication Studies 101, or 102, or 151. Again, we only need 1 class. The entire area A needs 9 units. Column C stands for completed, IEP is for in progress, and N is for needs. So when we're evaluating a student, we would put a check mark in column C if the student has already done it. A2, written communication, English 101 is the only class that'll satisfy area A2. Area A3, critical thinking, can be satisfied by either English 102 or 103, Philosophy 6 or 9, COM 104 or 105. Now, we looked at earlier how a course needed a prerequisite of English 101 to get into English 124. The same rule applies here. So a student looking to get into English 102 or 103 needs English 101 first. English 101 is the prerequisite for English 102 or 103. Again, we want to make sure students are strong in their academic writing before continuing into English 102 or 103. However, there are classes like Philosophy 6, 9, and Com Studies 104 that don't require English 101 as a prerequisite, as stated in the catalog. Our suggestion would be, however, that the student complete English 101 first before going on to a critical thinking class, because all of the courses in critical thinking will expect that the student has the writing skills of a student who has completed English 101. So our recommendation is that even if a student could enroll into Philosophy 6 or 9 or Com Studies 104 right now, that they wait until after they complete English 101, because they tend to just do better in those classes after completing English 101. The next area is Area B, Scientific Inquiry and Quantitative Reasoning, and it says 9 units. We need 1 class from B1, Physical Science. We need minimum 1 class from B2, Life Science. And then one of those 2 classes must have the laboratory activity. So this is again for students who are not STEM majors, because a STEM major is going to be doing biology and chemistry and physics. So this area would be covered for them. So we're talking about maybe somebody who is a psychology major or a child development major, a business major, somebody who will not need science specifically for their major. So for example, a student could do Geography 1, and then if they want to do the lab for Geography 1, they would do Geography 15. We can see this little cross means that it has a lab and that it will be paired with Geography 1. We'll also notice that, for example, Chemistry 51 has that cross right after it, meaning that the lab is embedded, right? So we know it has a lab. On the life science side, I might want to take Anthropology 101 if I'm not a science major. And after that, then I could do Anthropology 111, which is the lab. Classes like anatomy, microbiology, physiology, those would be for nursing majors, health science majors, kinesiology majors. So we wouldn't recommend you get into those. Plus, they all have additional prerequisites required to get into those courses. Area B4, mathematics and quantitative reasoning. We discussed math at length earlier, but what we wanted to mention is that if you're a major, like maybe a media arts major, a studio arts major, somebody who might be going into business for themselves as an independent contractor, Finance 8 is just recently added to the list to cover area B4 for transfer. Finance 8 is called Personal Investments in Finance. It's 3 units. And if your major does not require a specific math class, then a Finance 8 class would satisfy this area. Again, we saw the list of transfer level math classes. Some majors would require just 1 math class. Some majors would require several math classes. Area C, called Arts and Humanities. We need 9 units total, with at least 1 from Area C1, 1 from Area C2, and then a 3rd course from your choice of either area. So a student could take 2 art history classes, or art history and a drawing class, plus 1 humanities class. They could also take Anthropology 121, the Anthropology of Magic, Religion, and Witchcraft. They could take Philosophy 1, and then they could take 1 cinema class. So any combination of 9 units, such that 2 are from the arts and 1 is from humanities, or 2 are from humanities and 1 is from the arts. Area D, Social Sciences. Again, we need 9 units from here, from at least 2 different disciplines below. What that means is that if I took History 1 plus History 2 and History 5, while each of those are 3 units, and that would give me 9 units total, I would not have satisfied this area because I chose something from all within history. So I would have to do 2 from history and 1 from political science, for example. Or 2 from child development and 1 from anthropology, for example. Now, we have something called the American Institutions Requirement. The American Institutions Requirement is a Title V graduation requirement from all Cal State campuses. It is not an admissions requirement, but it is a graduation requirement. So oftentimes, we'll encourage a student to choose one of these 2 lines to get their American Institutions Requirement fulfilled. So, Political Science 1 and one of the following: African American History Part 1 or Part 2, History of the Mexican American Part 2, History of the Economy, or one of the U.S. History, History of Western Civilization Part 1, U.S. History Part 1, or U.S. History Part 2. One of these classes plus Political Science 1 will satisfy the American Institutions Requirement. So too will choosing History 6 or 20 plus either Econ 10 or History 11. So often what students will do is choose one of these 2 lines to satisfy the American Institutions Requirement, and then add on a psychology class, a sociology class, an economics class, child development, in order to get to 9 units. Finally, Area E, Lifelong Learning and Self-Development. It says we just need 3 units to satisfy this area. Now, This is where our kinesiology classes, our dance classes do live, but we can only use 1 unit of dance or PE towards this 3 units. So I could not take 3 separate 1-unit PE classes in order to satisfy this 3-unit requirement. I could find a 2-unit class and add a 1-unit PE class, and that would give me 3 units, but that is hard to come by. So most students just choose between African American 2, Com 121, Counseling 20, which we'll review in a second, will satisfy this area, as too will Health 11. So this is the CSUGE page. And again, this is the general education requirement for all students looking to transfer, regardless of which transfer degree they're looking at. Everybody needs the same amount of general education. The other general education pattern that we're going to review is called the IGETC. IGETC stands for the Intersegmental General Education Transfer Curriculum, which is a long title, so we just call it IGETC. The IGETC is used primarily for students wishing to transfer to the UC or the University of California campuses like UCLA, UC Berkeley, UC Irvine, or UC San Diego. However, the Cal State campuses will also use this general education pattern and accept it. So if you're a student who is planning on applying to some UCs and some Cal States, and you already know that you'll be applying to both systems, you would want to follow the IGETC to make sure that all of the classes required that you're taking for your general education will be accepted by both campus systems, because they are different. So for example, Area 1 is called English Communication. Area 1A is called English Composition. And again, the only class that'll cover us for Area 1A is English 101. In contrast to the CSUGE page, there are fewer critical thinking choices that will satisfy critical thinking on the IGETC. If you recall, on the CSUGE, there were 6 courses. That would satisfy critical thinking on the CSUGE page. However, on the IGETC page, again, this is for the student who knows that they want to be applying to a UC campus or a UC and a Cal State, and to see which one they get into. The critical thinking choices, classes that will satisfy critical thinking are limited to Com 105, English 102, and English 103. So again, if you know that you're going to be applying to a UC, you would want to choose from one of these 3 critical thinking classes to make sure that you've got yourself covered. Oral communication, it does say it's a CSU requirement only, and you achieved by Com 101, 102, or 151. So a student could apply to a UC and not take the oral communication and be fine. However, we recommend that if students take a speech class to be eligible to the Cal State campus, it's also a great class just to improve your public speaking. You'll be doing a lot of presentations in your classes. It's good for job interview skills when you'll be interviewing. So usually students have some kind of anxiety or fear about public speaking. So it's a great class to get over that anxiety in college and in life as you head into the professional world. Area 2 is called Mathematical Concepts and Quantitative Reasoning. Again, we need 1 course from this list. Area 3, Arts and Humanities. Similar to the CSUGE page, we have Arts, this is Area 3A. We have Humanities, Area 3B. We need 9 semester units total. So again, 1 from Arts and 2 from Humanities, or 2 from Arts and 1 from Humanities. Area 4, social and behavioral sciences. Some similar language, 3 courses in at least 2 different disciplines. We know what that means from before. 3 classes, 9 units, must be from 2 different subjects minimally. Area 5, physical and biological science. Similar to the CSU GE, we need 1 physical science, we need 1 biological science, and we need 1 laboratory. I've highlighted Geography 17 here because Geography 17 has the lab embedded. Lab courses are marked by the symbol, this ++ on this page. So we know that Geography 17 with the double plus means that it has a lab embedded in it. On the IGETSI, it's also listed down below, so that way you're sure that it has the lab component. Finally, the UC has the unique requirement of a foreign language. As you can see, UC required only. This is a proficiency equivalent to 2 years of high school in the same foreign language with a grade of C or better. Most of our students coming in from American high schools will have 2 years of foreign language already fulfilled, as it's a high school graduation in many high schools. However, students could also satisfy the foreign language requirement with the SAT 2 or by taking a college level class, French 2, German 2, Italian 2, Spanish 2, or 35, Spanish for Spanish speakers. Again, if you know that you'll be applying to a UC, please see your community college counselor for more information on if you satisfy Area 6, language other than English. Also on the IGETSI, they do talk about the CSU, US Constitution and American Ideals, as we saw. It could be a part of this 9 units. So if a student did Political Science 1 and African American History Part 4, that's already 6 units, and we could count it within Area 4. So Political Science 1, African American History 4, that would be 6 units towards the 9. Now we just need 1 more class. Child Development 1 will get us that 3rd class to get to 9 units. So for example, if a student knows they want to transfer to a university and become a psychology major, and they want to apply to UC San Diego, UC Santa Barbara, UCLA, they would follow the IGETSI and the AAT in psychology would likely satisfy all of the lower division major preparation that the student would need. However, we want to double check with assist.org and your counselor to make sure that you have the exact courses that your institution is looking for to be prepared for the major. So now we have seen examples of our Associate of Arts for non-transfer and our Associate of Arts and our Associate of Science for transfer. The graphic you see here represents how a student might earn an associate degree, which we've explained. The major preparation, also known as the major, can be as little as 18 units or as much as 40 units. Thus, the unit count of the major will determine how many general education and elective units a student needs to complete in order to reach 60 units. However, there is some coursework that will satisfy general education on the LACC GE page, but it is not transferable, like some lower division, lower level math courses, so will not count as general education on the CSU GE or IGETSI page. This is why it is best to speak with the counselor to create a CSEP within your first year. Again, the major preparation is the blue on the pie chart, plus general education, could be as little as 21 units or as much as 40 units. And then elective units we're calling is any additional units to add up to 60 units total. Throughout the presentation, we've been using the word units, so now we're going to explain. A 1-unit class at Valley College, like Counseling 1, will meet for 1 hour per week. If the student completes all course requirements successfully for that class in the semester, they would earn 1 unit towards the 60-unit requirement that we have just reviewed for an associate degree or to transfer. A unit is sometimes called a credit or credit hour in other colleges in the United States. Some of those colleges are on a quarter system, but the LACCD, including Valley College, is on a semester system. We have 2 equal semesters, the fall semester and the spring semester, each at 16 weeks. Then we have the winter term, which is a 5-week term, and it takes the same amount of material that would be offered in a 16-week semester, and it compresses it into a 5-week module. So not all classes are the best or even offered in the winter term. Our summer has a summer A and a summer B. Again, those are both 5-week modules. And in the same way, not all classes will be offered in the summer, and not all classes are the best for students to take in that compressed format. If you were to think of a 16-week class getting compressed down to 5 weeks, that would be triple the amount of material offered in the summer or the winter class. So please keep that in mind when enrolling or thinking of enrolling into summer and winter classes. A 3-unit class like English 101 would meet for 3 hours a week for 16 weeks. The schedule might meet 2 days per week for an hour and a half per meeting, or it could meet 1 day a week for 3 hours. But that is simply the in-class time that a student must be accountable for. In order to be successful in that class, a student must devote an additional 6 hours outside of that class meeting time to review their class notes, read assigned texts, and complete assignments, projects, or research papers as part of a comprehensive study plan. This figure is reached by multiplying the number of units the class is times 2. So a 3-unit class times 2 equals 6 hours. Now we add that 6 hours outside of class meeting time to the 3 hours the class meets per week and arrive at 9 hours per week we will need to be devoted to that English 101 class. For students who plan on being in school full-time, that is 12 units of coursework per semester. In that case, we would take 12 hours in class per week and add the 24 hours outside of class, because we multiplied 12 units times 2 to get 24. We add that together and arrive at 36 hours total per week. So a student who wants to be a full-time student should really be able to carve out nearly 40 hours per week in their schedule in order to be successful. Whether you are enrolled in 3, 6, 12, or 15 units per semester, students whom are able to commit to this formula that you see on this slide are more successful and thus have stronger GPAs than their peers whom do not or cannot follow this guidance. On this chart, you'll see recommended units per semester. So what can be adjusted is the number of units per semester a student takes, so they have time to accommodate all of their obligations outside of school while still maintaining that 1-to-3 ratio we reviewed on the previous slide. If a student works full-time at 40 hours per week, it is recommended that she or he only takes 1 or 2 classes for a maximum of 6 units per semester. We understand that for some students, there is a sense of urgency to complete their coursework at Valley College as quickly as possible. However, our experience has shown that one of the most common reasons students cite for not being successful in college in previous attempts was that their work schedule got in the way or was not conducive to being a full-time student. So in order to get their balance right, they had to adjust their timelines and their expectations as they returned back to college. In fact, if many of them were here in this presentation today, they would likely advise to start small maintain a regular schedule for a semester or two, then increase the amount of units based on your experience as a well-balanced college student. We've already seen how to access the college catalog. Now we want to show you how to access the schedule of classes and the academic calendar. From our homepage, lavc.edu, we can access the schedule by clicking on Schedule Catalog. Here's the Summer 2020 searchable schedule of classes, and beneath that, the Fall 2020 classes. So for example, if I wanted to see how many English 101 classes were offered at Valley College, I would select subject, letter E. I would go down to English, and then I would type in 101. And I would want to make sure that I'm in Valley College to start with. And I can search. And I can see that there are 80 different class sections of English 101 available in Fall 20 at LA Valley College. You can notice the meeting dates to make sure that you're looking at the right schedule. When it says regular, it's the full semester or the full term. But then all of a sudden, it switches from regular to something called 8-week B. What that means is the second half of the semester. So all of a sudden, from this line where it's class is going to start on August 31st, now we're seeing when it says 8-week B, the class is going to begin in the middle, at the end of October, October 26th, and it's going to go till December 20th. So they take that same class and they compress it into a 8-week module. And in this case, it's the second half of the semester. Here are more examples. If I wanted to find out some information about the class, I can click either this hyperlink or this hyperlink. And once I click on that hyperlink, it'll give me information, more information about the class. So I still have the title of the class. I have the class number, that 5-digit code. The dates of the class attendance will still match. The campus, in this case, is LA Valley College. Now, for right now, classes are meeting all online, but eventually, as classes return back to campus, it'll have the schedule that you would want to pay attention to. Enrollment requirements are the same as prerequisites. So this is the same message that we saw in our English 101 listing in the college catalog. And then now you're familiar with this language. Meets IGETC 1A, meets CSUGE Area A2. So again, the English 101 was the only class that would meet Area 1A or A2 when we looked at the IGETC and the CSUGE page. And that's giving us that information right now that this class meets that area. Right now, nobody's registered in this class, but moving throughout, the class will fill up. We know that the class capacity is 45 students. Then there's a wait list capacity. So once all of the available seats have filled up, then a wait list. Students can add themselves to the wait list. Then once the wait list reaches capacity, then the class becomes closed. And then again, the description of the class. So there are pieces of the college catalog found here, as well as additional information about the class. Some of the most important information that we can find about the class are these important class dates. So the last date to enroll with a permission number is September the 13th. So that's actually nearly 2 weeks after the class has started. The last date to drop this class without a W is the same day. So we allow students to shop and adjust their schedule to make sure that they're in the right class and get their schedule adjusted. And if they want to add this class, they can add it. And if they wanted to drop this class, they could drop it without a W, meaning it won't appear on their transcript at all. So they would need to do both of these items by September the 13th. Finally, the last date to drop with a W is November 22nd. So a student could be in the class for nearly 3/4 of the semester and still be able to petition for a W or drop the class and have a W on their transcript. We're going to talk about that more right now. Now let's see what would happen if I wanted to look for classes throughout the entire district. Let's say I wanted to look for a real estate class. I'm not exactly sure what the abbreviation was for real estate, so I need to come back to my select subject menu. And under letter R. Okay. And instead of looking at Valley College, I want to look at the entire district. So I'm going to have a blank, this top blank with the check mark, and not all real estate classes. I just want to look for real estate 1. And again, this is for fall 2020. And I search. So there are 13 class sections within the district for real estate 1, real estate principles. And so now I'm seeing there's a class at City. It's the first 8 weeks of the semester. And again, I can double check that by looking at the dates here. And another class at City, but it's the second 8 weeks. And there's 2 at East and 1 at Harbor and 3 at Valley and 3 at West. This is an often helpful strategy when students, when there's a class like in this example. So this class has already filled up and it's got a blue box, meaning that it's closed. The wait list is closed. Students can't add themselves to the wait list. And this is actually a different type of class. So it shows closed, meaning that students can't access it because it's for our high school students. This happens often when there is a dual enrollment class or a class that's set aside for a special population. Sometimes it'll say it's open and the student can't access it. Sometimes it'll say closed to kind of protect it for certain populations, like a high school student. The other information that we wanted to make sure to review is the academic calendar. We looked a little bit at that. This is for the summer 2020 calendar. which again, everything is much faster. And all the dates, we want to make sure that we pay attention to, particularly to the drop dates. Again, the drop date to receive with a W, we saw earlier. So for example, this last date to drop with a W, November 22nd. Anything beyond November 22nd, the instructor has to issue a letter grade to the student. So if that grade were going to be substandard of either a D or an F, the student may want to consider dropping the class by talking to the instructor previous and a counselor to see if dropping the class with a W is in their best interest. Every case is different, and so it is highly recommended that before dropping a class or taking a W, the student speak with a counselor. Again, the class schedule, the calendar can be found from this page on our website. So this is going back to the spring of 2020. It's already been removed from our homepage, but you can see it on this tile, on this slide here. So in this example, February 23rd was the last day to drop without receiving a W, meaning it wouldn't even appear on a student's transcript. And then May 10th, 2020 was again the last day to drop classes with a W. After that, it says letter grade required from this date forward. The academic calendar also has other dates to be mindful of when the final examinations are to be held, any holidays that we have. So it's extremely important that students bookmark this page and review and refer to it constantly to make sure that they are staying on track with their deadlines. Now, from your student homepage, a student could, if they are ready to enroll into classes, click on the Manage Classes tile, then the Class Search and Enroll button to register for classes. If you're a first-time user, informational videos on how to use the system can be accessed by clicking the Key Links and Help tile, and then the FAQ button. We've also posted videos on the first semester educational planning session resource page. So you can find the informational videos in one of two places. So which courses should I take in my first semester? That's what we're going to review now. We've talked about English 101. We've talked about English 72, English Bridge, if you wanted some additional support. We've talked about transfer level math classes and which ones are appropriate for which majors. We've talked about Math 100 being a supplemental workshop to give additional support and guidance throughout the math. We've also talked about that if a student is unclear about their major, they may wait for the following semester to take math to allow for time to make an appointment with a counselor to get confirmation on their plan to determine which math class or classes to take. A student could also get clarification by taking a counseling class, as that will help them do some major exploration, and then that will help inform the decision about which math class to take. However, we advise that students complete their first transfer level math course by the end of their second full semester or by the end of their first year. This would allow plenty of time to repeat it if the student was not successful in their first attempt for any reason. And if it turns out that the student's transfer major requires a multi-semester sequence of math, we would want that started within their first year or their second semester latest in order to complete the entire sequence on time. As we saw for some of our STEM majors, there could be a 4 or 5 math sequence that is required before transfer. So STEM majors especially, we'd want them to begin math early on in their career. What are other courses I could take in my first semester? So you could take a Counseling 1 class called Introduction to College. It's 1 unit transferable to the CSU, provides new students with necessary information about campus policies, resources, study skills, and student educational planning based on your educational goal. There's also Counseling 4, also 1 unit, called Career Planning. It assists undecided students to make meaningful decisions regarding career and/or educational goals. Student educational planning is based on your educational goal as well. And finally, there's Counseling 20, which we talked about meets CSU GE Area E. It's 3 units, and it's UC and CSU transferable. It's called Post-Secondary Education, the Scope of Career Planning. So this provides new students with an overview of higher education in California, long-term career and student success strategies, and student educational planning. Remember that every course in counseling, 1, 4, and 20, will have the completion of your CSEP by the end of the counseling course because it is taught by a counselor. So we've discussed different majors. We've seen a non-transferable major like real estate. We've seen a lot of transfer majors on the ADT page. We've discussed different general education plans. So for the student who doesn't want to transfer, the LACCD GE plan. And if a student does want to transfer, we know that we want to use the CSU GE or the IGETC, depending on which campus they're going to be applying to. We also talked about how elective courses can be added to get to 60 units for the associate degree or to transfer. When some of you enrolled for the first time, it may have asked you to choose from one of 7 CAPs, or career and academic pathways, that LA Valley College is currently reorganizing our academic programs into. If so, your choice may have been influenced simply by the name or the title of the CAP. Perhaps your choice was influenced by seeing what majors or academic programs fall under that CAP. Or your choice could have been influenced by taking a career assessment on the CCC My Path page. The CCC My Path page, as seen here, allows you to sign in and create an account using your single server sign-on. And it has different tiles that you could explore here. So the first one would be Explore Careers, and a student could take the career assessment. And we would definitely encourage a student to take the 60-question assessment, because it'll give you more precise information. And if you take interest inventories like this, you would want to answer the question, but not worry if you have enough education or training to do the work. We also ask you, don't think about how much money you would make doing the work. But it's to gauge your interest in an activity. So would you like to build kitchen cabinets? You would strongly disagree, you're unsure, you would agree or strongly agree. So for myself, that sounds like fun. working with wood, so I would strongly agree. Laying brick or tile, agree. Develop a new medicine, I'm unsure. The fewer choices that you put for unsure, the stronger your results will be. It would take about less than 10 minutes to take the 60-question assessment. And at the end, it would show you some programs and majors that relate to the interests that you have marked with a strong agree or agree. Again, it's another way to provide you some career exploration or major exploration guidance in addition to taking a counseling class. Over these next several slides, we're going to feature some introductory classes that would allow you to explore the different caps based on courses. So these are suggested courses that are introductory or entry level that do not require prerequisites, but that would give a student different options to explore courses to take their first or second semester in order to explore a particular cap or a specific major within that cap. Let's take a look. If you already identify with the art, media, and design pathway, you could consider taking one or two courses from the list on this page. And again, we looked at the course abbreviation page, so if you need to refer to the course abbreviation page in the catalog to see what ARC 172 is, it's Architecture 172. After the title of the course, so we have the subject, ARC, the course number 172, the title of the course, how many units it is in parentheses, and again, if it's CSU transferable or UC and CSU transferable. So these are all courses we'd recommend a student could take in their first or second semester to see if they have a strong indication of interest in this area, art, media, and design, as they think. Next, we have business, entrepreneurship, and law. Next, we have health and public services. The Fire Tech 96 class that we have listed here is really for students who want to get their EMT, become EMTs. It is an 8-unit class. It is a lot of material and information. It's really recommended for folks who are already prepared to take on this commitment. It's a lot of material, and so we want to make sure that students are aware that it's really recommended only for students who are serious about becoming an EMT. Kinesiology courses are 1 unit, and often the reason it's listed here is because it's to help students prepare for the physical ability test for the Sheriff's Department, the CPAT for LA Fire Department, or the PFQ for LA Police Department, for example. Earlier, we looked at respiratory therapy program. And so if you're interested, you could take Respiratory Therapy 001, Introduction to Respiratory Therapy, and it is 1 unit as seen on this slide. For humanities and communication, here's a list of courses. And we'll notice that French 1, German 1, Italian 1, and Spanish 1 are all introductory classes in that foreign language. They're all 5 units. But please note, each foreign language course is elementary level and equivalent to first year in high school. If trying to satisfy the foreign language requirement for a UC campus, see a counselor. If your language skills are beyond this level, however, and you need placement into a more advanced class, please contact the foreign language chair, Dr. Victor Fusilero, at that email address you see there. The next cap is our manufacturing, electronics, and construction. So if you want to learn how to be a machinist or learn how to run a CNC machine or a lathe, you can enroll into these classes. Or if you're interested in electronics or introduction of biomedical electronics to see how to fix machinery in a hospital, we have that program here at Valley College as well. Our STEM cap, so depending on which major you're headed, you could take one of these classes. A good one is this Engineering General 101, Introduction to Science, Engineering, and Technology. It's 2 units. It's UC and CSU transferable. It covers all of the different branches of engineering, the careers that are available, and their earnings. So a really good class for students who are thinking that they might be interested in engineering as a career. For social and behavioral sciences, there's lots of classes to choose from. Another one that we like is Child Development 172. Called Introduction to Careers in Child Development, and it's 1 unit. And again, it's a great class for students who are thinking about going into child development. Other courses to consider your first semester: student success courses, Counseling 1, Counseling 4, Counseling 20, we reviewed before. But if you're a first-year student or part of the Promise program, it is recommended that in addition to a counseling class, you enroll into College 101 your first semester. College 101, called Navigating Your Path Through College to Career, is a 1-unit CSU transferable class. This will provide you additional guidance and resources that are known to support students as they transition into their first semester of college. In addition, we offer library science classes that can be taken anytime to improve your research skills, which are also vital to success in college, providing you with information literacy. Library Science 100, Media and Information Literacy, it's 3 units, transferable to UC and CSU. And Library Science 101, College Research Skills 1, UC and CSU transferable. Library Science 100 also meets Area E on the CSU GE sheet of lifelong learning and self-development. Okay, now let's put all of this information we've reviewed into your first semester educational plan. This form can be accessed from our homepage, lavc.edu. From our homepage, again, to student services, to counseling, to the orientation first semester planning page that we've been accessing, to the forms you need to complete. So the first one we're going to look at is the student educational plan. If you were to click this, you would see this PDF. You would want to download it to your computer first and save it in the format last name, first name, underscore, your ID number, underscore, SEP for Student Educational Plan. Let's complete it. So we mark the date, we mark our last name, our student ID number. For semester year, make sure you put the first semester you're in. If it was fall 20, we put fall 20. And then the next semester, spring 21. Even if your next semester was going to be summer, we'd ask you to fill out fall and spring on this sheet. Or spring and then fall, depending on when you're enrolling into the college. We know that English 101 is a class that we've recommended students take. It's 3 units. Now, myself, my name being Student Monarch, I am a child development major, so I want to go get my bachelor's degree in child development, which means I know that I want to be here at Valley College. I want to be pursuing my AST in early childhood education. And I've determined that the best math class for me in order to transfer is Stat 101. However, I don't feel that confident in taking math my very first semester. So I'd like to do a preparation class. So I'm going to do Stat 100 in the fall. And that Stat 100 class will allow me to get some confidence in my math skills. So that way, when I take my transfer level math class, I won't be as intimidated or have as much anxiety, and I'll be more successful. I've also decided to take Counseling 1. It's 1 unit. I'm going to take Child Development 1 because that's an intro level class for my major, and I want to make sure that I really like this major. So I'm going to take Child Development 1, and that's 3 units. And then using the CSUGE sheet, I looked for another area, and I thought I would want to start off with Anthropology 101, just the lecture, no lab, and that's 3 units. And thus, when I add this up, this would be 14 units for my fall semester. Then in the spring, so spring 21, I know I'm going to take Stat 101 because I've just prepped for it, and that's 4 units. And I'm going to take Child Development 11, and that's 3 units. And I'm not feeling that particularly strong with my writing. And I'd rather take this class called Communication Studies 105, simply critical thinking. So I'm going to take, that's a 3-unit class. And then also off the CSUGE page, I'm going to look at Psych 1, Psych 001, Introduction to Psychology. That seems like it would give me some also additional information about child development. And that's a good first-year class as well. So when I add this up, that's 13 units. So again, I will fill out my name, my ID number, the classes I want to enroll in for fall, the class I want to enroll in for spring. You can leave counselor name and counselor signature blank, but if you had signed the page, the student signature page, and again, using the format, last name, you can see it up here at the top, last name, comma, student is my first name, underscore, my ID number, the full 9 digits, underscore, SEP. And once we fill this form out, I'm going to email it to this email, initial sep@lavc.edu. Initial sep@lavc.edu. Now, while I'm here, I'm also going to access the AB 705 form. If I didn't have placement when I checked my assessments page, and if the assessments placements information page was blank, I need to complete the AB 705 form that we discussed earlier. So I can click this, and this form that's fillable will come up. And again, we recommend downloading it to your computer, saving it, last name, comma, first name, underscore, ID number, underscore, AB 705 to make sure that it differentiates from the SEP page. Again, it's a fillable form, the AB 705 Math and English Guided Self-Placement Form. It'll look like this when you first open it. I've already filled mine out. Again, My name is Student Monarch, so my last name first, comma, first name. The full 9-digit ID number. And the first question says, what was your unweighted high school GPA or grade point average? If you're unfamiliar with the American grading system of GPA, just think of if you earned all A's in high school, that would be a 4.0. If you earned some A's and some B's, that would be a 3.5. If you earned all B's, that'd be a 3.0, and so on. I wasn't a great student in high school, and I think my GPA was a 2.8. Then question 2A says, in what grade level was the last English course you took? And indicate the course title if known. It's okay if you don't know the title. If you just remember which grade it was that you took your English class, was it 11th? Was it 12th grade? Just indicate that. Then it asks you to write, what letter grade did you receive in that class? Finally, letter C says, what is your comfort level with taking a college level reading and composition English course? Really, you could think of that as your confidence level. What's your confidence level of taking college level English right now, 1 to 10, with 10 being your most confident? In my case, I'm at about a 7 out of 10. Question number 3A, same questions, but about math. So in what grade level was the last math course you took? My last math course, it was in the 11th grade, and I'm pretty sure it was Algebra 2. But again, if you don't remember what it was, don't worry about it. Just put the grade in which you took your last math class in high school. Again, what grade did you receive? I was a little stronger in math. And that's seen also by my comfort level ranking of an 8 out of 10. You'll see the same math college level courses that we've discussed today on the left-hand side, as well as the foundational math skills that we've discussed. Now, we no longer have Math 110, 112, or 115, so those are not actually available for students to take any longer. But we do have Math 120, Math 121, 22, 25, 134, and Statistics 100, as we already reviewed. By filling this sheet out, students are automatically allowed and given placement into all transfer level math courses. And again, based on your major, we'll determine which math course to take, because not all math courses are created equally. And so you don't want to take the wrong one for your major and forcing you to have to take another one before transferring. Also, all students, by completing this page, will have access to English 101. It is the first level college course class that we have. If you are thinking of taking English 72 or Math 100, you may click both of those to indicate that you have interest in taking that. If you don't, you can leave that blank. Again, you can leave the counselor's signature blank. You would date it and then sign it, saving it in the same way, your last name, comma, first name, underscore, ID number, underscore, AB 705. And again, coming back to this page, we can see if I'm a student missing my English or math placement, I must complete the AB 705 form that we just filled out and email it to the same address, initialsep@lavc.edu. So again, we've completed our first semester educational planning sheet, which you will email to initialsep@lavc.edu. A counselor will review it, and then we will upload it into your student portal, which you will be able to see under your educational plan. We also completed the AB 705 form for those who didn't have placements. Because again, remember that without filling this form out, you will not be able to access the English 101 class or your transfer level math class. If you would like to take a screenshot of this page to remind yourself where to send the information and what format, please do so now. And your next steps. You are now ready to register for your first semester courses using your enrollment date found under Manage Classes tile in your student portal. If you need assistance enrolling, visit the Online Welcome Center help desk. Please remember that the financial aid filing period is October 1st through March 2nd of every year. Apply now at fafsa.edu.gov and submit all the necessary information to avoid delay of your financial aid award. Please pay your fees as soon as possible to avoid a financial hold being placed on your records. And be prepared to attend or log in through Canvas for your classes starting the first day. Remember to make a counseling appointment at least once each semester to discuss your educational goals, develop a comprehensive student educational plan, and make updates to it as needed. A lot of students like to use the LACCD mobile app on their phone or the Grad Guru app. A lot of students also download the Canvas app to their phone as well. Well, we've come to the end of our presentation. We've covered a lot of material. If you missed anything, you can watch it again. Or remember that if you still don't feel as confident in your class choices and you'd like to attend the first semester educational planning session with a counselor live, you could do that as well. Otherwise, good luck in your educational endeavors. And if you have additional questions, you can contact us at our counseling front desk. Have a great day and go Monarchs.